Dermot Gallagher makes his feelings clear on disputed Liverpool-Manchester United decision. The headlines say it all. But what really happened at Anfield on Sunday afternoon? Why are fans still divided days later? And what made former Premier League referee Dermot Gallagher publicly defend one of the most criticized calls of the season? Welcome back to the channel, football fans. If you live and breathe the Premier League, if you thrive on the drama, the controversy, and the stories behind the game, then stop what you're doing. Smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell, because this story is going to shake up your view of refereeing forever. Let's break down how one split-second decision by Michael Oliver turned the Liverpool-Manchester United clash into one of the most debated matches of the year. Scene 1, the Anfield stage, visuals, nightlights, fans waving flags, chanting, "You'll never walk alone." The setting was electric. Anfield, a fortress where history lives and legends are made. Liverpool versus Manchester United, one of the oldest and fiercest rivalries in world football. Arne Slot's Liverpool, full of attacking intent, pressing high, moving the ball with precision, up against a rejuvenated Manchester United side, desperate to prove their resilience under the spotlight. The tension was thick. Every tackle, every whistle, every misplaced pass felt heavier than usual. You could sense it in the air. This was not going to be an ordinary match. The game started brightly. Liverpool dominated possession, controlling the midfield with Mac Allister and Szoboszlai pulling the strings. United sat deep, waiting for the moment to counter. Then, in the 24th minute, everything changed. Scene 2, the collision. Visual, slow-motion replay of Van Dijk and Mac Allister challenge. The ball broke loose in midfield. Virgil van Dijk, pushing forward from defense, went in to recover possession. Alexis Mac Allister stepped toward the same ball. The two collided. The Argentine midfielder hit the turf. Van Dijk stumbled slightly, his eyes instantly darting to Michael Oliver, waiting for the whistle that never came. Liverpool fans in the stands held their breath. The expectation was clear. Foul, free kick, play stops. But Michael Oliver, one of the most respected referees in the game, did something different. He waved play on. In that moment, time seemed to slow down. While Mac Allister lay on the pitch clutching his face, Bruno Fernandes seized the opportunity. He picked up the loose ball, looked up, and spotted Amad Diallo sprinting down the flank. One quick pass, and Liverpool's defense was suddenly wide open. Amad looked up and squared it perfectly for Bryan Mbeumo. And before anyone could react, the ball was in the net. Goal. Manchester United won. Liverpool 0. Anfield erupted. Not in celebration, but in disbelief. Scene 3. Chaos at Anfield. Visuals. Players protesting, fans shouting. Slot, looking frustrated. Liverpool players surrounded the referee, demanding an explanation. Van Dijk gestured toward the fallen Mac Allister, pointing repeatedly to the spot where he'd gone down. Oliver remained calm, unmoved. The VAR check began. The replay showed the collision. Shoulder to shoulder, maybe a clip of the knee, but nothing clear enough to overturn the on-field decision. Within seconds, the goal stood. Anfield's roar turned to outrage. Supporters booed. Arne Slot, usually composed, shook his head in disbelief. He knew this moment, right or wrong, would define the rest of the match. Scene 4. Enter Dermot Gallagher. Visuals, Sky Sports, Ref Watch graphics. The following morning, Sky Sports' Ref Watch became must-see television. Former Premier League referee Dermot Gallagher was invited to analyze the incident, and what he said sent ripples through the football world. Gallagher began by acknowledging the intensity of the situation, the pace, the contact, and the context of the moment. But when asked directly whether Michael Oliver was wrong, Gallagher didn't hesitate. He said, quote, "Is there a foul? No, because it's Van Dijk who comes in behind Mac Allister. Michael Oliver assesses it and says, no foul. He's forced to break with it, and so is the assistant, so neither see Mac Allister behind them. Within 5 seconds, the ball is in the net. The first time they see Mac Allister down, the ball is already in the net. It's just an unfortunate incident." That's Dermot Gallagher, clear, composed, and standing firmly in defense of the referee's judgment. According to Gallagher, Oliver's decision wasn't a mistake. It was simply part of football's unpredictable reality. Scene 5, Gallagher's logic, visuals, tactics board, referee positioning diagram. To understand Gallagher's reasoning, you need to see it from a referee's point of view. Oliver's positioning was ideal, slightly behind play, watching for deliberate contact. Van Dijk came from behind Mac Allister, which made the challenge appear like a natural collision rather than a foul. Gallagher emphasized that the referee and assistant had no chance to see the extent of Mac Allister's injury until after the goal. By the time they did, United were already celebrating. He described it as an unfortunate incident, not negligence, and in truth, he wasn't wrong. The game moves at incredible speed. From the collision to the goal, only 5 seconds passed. That's barely enough time for a referee to process an appeal, let alone halt play unless there's an obvious head injury. Still, for Liverpool fans, This explanation didn't ease the pain. Scene 6, Arne Slot's measured response. Visuals, post-match press conference. After the final whistle, the questions came thick and fast for Liverpool manager Arne Slot. He could have blasted the officials. He could have called it injustice. But instead, he took a different path, one that earned him quiet respect across the league. Slot said, quote, "I think the main thing we should do now is not complain, not blame. We could have done much better after Macca was on the floor, but the health care of a player is important. If a player needs 4 stitches, you hope everyone understands he needs immediate treatment. But it didn't happen. Still, that's not why we lost. We missed too many chances." It was a classy, controlled answer, showing leadership in the face of frustration. Slot knew the team's finishing let them down more than the referee's whistle. Scene 7, the reaction. Visuals, social media screenshots, fans outside Anfield. But the public wasn't as forgiving. Within minutes, the incident was trending across Twitter, Instagram, and fan forums. Liverpool supporters accused the officials of inconsistency. One fan tweeted, "If that was Fernandes or Rashford on the floor, play would have stopped immediately." Another said, "It's not about bias, it's about fairness. When a player needs stitches, the whistle should go." Meanwhile, Manchester United fans defended the decision. That's football. You play until the whistle. No foul there. Oliver got it right. The football world was once again split, half seeing injustice, half seeing logic. Scene 8, the bigger picture, visual, Premier League referee footage and VAR hub room. This moment reignited one of football's oldest debates. When should play stop for injuries? FIFA guidelines allow referees to stop play immediately for serious injuries, especially head or facial ones. But if the referee doesn't recognize it instantly, play is allowed to continue until the next natural break. Gallagher's point highlighted that the officials simply couldn't react in time. But critics argued, in the age of VAR and instant communication, shouldn't someone have signaled it earlier? That's where the line blurs. Referees are human. VAR can't intervene unless there's a clear and obvious error. So this incident, sitting in the gray area between bad luck and misjudgment, becomes the perfect storm for debate. Scene 9, expert opinions, visuals, studio panel, pundits debating. Across talk shows, podcasts, and sports panels, the topic dominated conversation. Some pundits backed Gallagher's interpretation. They said Oliver applied the law correctly. There was no deliberate foul, no dangerous play, and the goal was a legitimate result of quick thinking by United. Others, however, questioned the spirit of the game. Shouldn't referees prioritize player safety over game flow? Former players chimed in too, with one ex-Liverpool captain saying, "If you see a player flat out, stop it, no matter what." The more people discussed it, the clearer it became. This was not just about one decision, it was about the balance between fairness and humanity in football. Now, Scene 10, tactical fallout, visuals, replays, stats, graphics, heat maps. From a tactical standpoint, the goal completely changed the rhythm of the match. Liverpool, who had been dictating play, suddenly found themselves chasing. Their rhythm stuttered. Frustration grew. Van Dijk pushed higher. Alexander-Arnold tried to force creativity and Salah became isolated. United, meanwhile, thrived in the chaos. Their defensive shape tightened and they countered with precision. That one moment, but that 5-second window after Oliver's decision, altered the flow of the entire game. It's the kind of turning point you only recognize in hindsight. Scene 11, the referee's burden. Visuals, close-up shots of Michael Oliver during games. To be a Premier League referee is to live under constant scrutiny. Every whistle, every gesture, every glance is dissected in slow motion by millions. Dermot Gallagher, having spent years in that environment, understands this better than anyone. His defense of Oliver wasn't about blind loyalty, it was about empathy. He's been there. He knows the pressure. 1 second too slow, and your career is defined by outrage instead of accuracy. In his words, the